Good morning from Okinawa. I know it is about 9:30 at night on the East Coast in the United States. I wanted to pop on for a minute and just chat about some things that I have noticed going on so far this year over the weekend. As some of you know, I run my own group, the Mel Kids Ed K-12 Parent Support Group, and I would encourage everyone to join. It's free. I post resources and videos and tutorials there that I do not post on this page. So if you would like to level up your involvement in finding solutions to your child's education without spending money on coaching services or on resources, I invite you to join the group. And in fact, it will not let me link right now in the post, but I will, after the live video ends, I will make sure to link the Mel Kids Ed K-12 Parent Support Group. So one of the things that I'm noticing right now on Facebook in talking to friends is that a lot of parents of school-age children are telling me, oh, man, I just don't understand what the teacher is saying to me. It's like they don't speak the same language. I thought I asked for something pretty simple, but they came back at me with something like not related at all, and I'm not sure how that happened. Or they sent me home this email, and I don't know what it means. I'm not sure how to respond to this. And so basically, I'm hearing from a lot of parents that you all are just, you're kind of missing the connection between you at home, mom and dad, and the teacher and the school. You're not on the same page, you're not seeing eye to eye, it's like you're not even speaking the same language. You send an email with a really simple request about a math grade or homework, and the teacher comes back and sends you a whole bunch of other stuff that doesn't really seem related to what you asked. It doesn't explain why your child got a 75 on the math test. It doesn't explain the math homework, or it doesn't seem to explain it. Here's what's happening. Your messaging of your emails is not hitting the target. If teachers are watching this, this could be true for you as well. If you are sending home emails and mom and dad are still confused, your messaging and the way that you are wording your emails is not hitting the target. It's not optimized for the audience that you are trying to engage. This is something that I am continually working on. It's something that I have learned over the years as a teacher, how to message emails in a way that connects to parents, and it's something that I'm still working on just as a human being. It's hard to send an email because you're watching me right now and you can hear my tone of voice. You could tell if I'm being sarcastic. Sitting in a meeting, you could tell if someone was being, flippant or rude or sarcastic or whatever. A blunt statement comes across, a blunt and truly honest statement comes across very different in a face-to-face conversation or a video conversation where you can do the visual facial cues and hear the vocal cues than it does in an email. This is so incredibly common that mom and dad, you are sending an email, hey, why did Johnny fail the math test? Send. That's going to read completely different on the teacher's end. It's going to read like you're calling them out, like you are blaming them for your child's poor performance. And that might not be what you want to do at all. You might just truly be curious about what happened, what went on. Can you tell me more about the test? But your email didn't say that. It was very blunt and to the point. But blunt and to the point is not where we want to be as parents talking to teachers. Remember, we want to build this relationship to foster a team that works together so that everyone is helping our child succeed in school. When you're blunt and to the point in an email, that can come across as rude. And I'm not meaning to be rude in saying this to you, but it's true. Think about if your boss sent an email saying, well, something to the effect of, your scores are down, what happened? Would that come across as kind of confrontational to you? What if your boss said, hey, I noticed you're working really hard, but your scores don't quite seem to match, your reports don't quite seem to match the effort that you're putting in. I'd like to sit down and have a meeting with you about this so we can chat about it in person. That comes off as much more collaborative and willing to work together. If you're thinking as a working professional in a job, you're going to treat your relationship with the teacher exactly the same way that you would treat a relationship with a boss or a colleague. You're going to want to phrase and message your emails in such a way that you, number one, come across as polite, professional, and collaborative, and number two, you come across as friendly. and supportive. Remember, this is the person that is spending a significant portion of your child's day with them. They are in control of your child's education for one academic year. You want this person to be on your side. You need this person to be on your side. You need to talk to the teacher in a way that builds that relationship so that you all are on the same page and the same team, so that you're understanding each other perfectly. And this is not challenging. I know it sounds really hard to change the way you email, but it's super easy. Let me show you how. So the first step is always going to be that you start with a positive statement. Pick anything positive about the school, literally anything. I really appreciate the fact that you do flexible seating. That's a positive thing. We really like the field trip that's coming up. It seems really cool to go to the zoo. That's a positive thing. We're really proud of Susie's success on her recent math test. I noticed her score went up 5 points. That's a positive thing. I like the way you include art in the classroom. Another positive thing. These are all just small, little, teeny tiny things that you could pick out about the teacher. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be flashy. Pick one positive thing to highlight about the teacher. Once you said the positive thing, opening your email with the positive, you're going to go for your big ask. You're going to say the question in a way that is not confrontational, that does not blame anyone, that is logical, and that is not emotional. Does that make sense? Your goal in this is to just start a dialogue. So let's say that Susie had a really bad math score. So your email to me, your teacher, would be, Dear Mrs. Flanagan, thank you so much for including art in the classroom. Susie really enjoys being creative with you. We've noticed that Susie's math score has been going down lately. We're a little bit concerned about this and would love to sit down and chat with you about ways that you're already helping her in the classroom and ways that we can continue to support her at home. Thank you so much, and we look forward to working with you. Sincerely, Mrs. Smith. That's it. Instead of saying Susie's math grade was bad, what happened, which is confrontational and could be read by the teacher as blaming her, which may or may not be true and may or may not be your intention, by phrasing it with a positive, open, a factual, logical, concerned parent statement in the middle, and then closing it with the offer to work together, meet, and that you're looking forward to doing so, I, as the teacher, would open that email and say, oh gosh, you're right. You know what? This is something that I need to sit down with Mr. and Mrs. Smith about and talk to them and explain how I'm already helping Susie in the classroom, explain things that they could be doing at home, share some websites, share some resources, perhaps recommend a tutor. The messaging between the first example email of why does Susie have a bad grade, and the second example email that is a little bit longer and a little bit more diplomatic, let's say, is night and day. If I had gotten the first email, I might have come back and said, did Susie study? I don't know. That might have been my answer. Why did Susie fail the math test? Did she study? Sincerely, Mrs. Flanagan. Or, I'm sorry, Susie is not doing as well as you hoped in math. I would encourage her to study. Sincerely, Mrs. Flanagan. Because the first email makes it seem like it's my fault that she's failing. Entirely my fault that she had no part in her grade and I just doled it out to her. Second email recognizes that there might be a problem with how Susie is understanding math, or that maybe there needs to be additional supports at home with tutors or programs or what have you. That is an email that I am more willing to respond to in a positive and collaborative manner as a teacher. Just like when you go into any situation, if you come at somebody aggressively, bluntly, they're not going to respond positively to that bluntness. Think about the last time that maybe you complained to customer service at a store. If you came in guns blazing and said, "Bob, this is wrong," did they immediately fix your problem? Or was it kind of a multi-step thing? Did you need to go through a manager and a customer service rep and go through a couple avenues? And what if you had come in and said it differently and said, "Oh, thank you so much for being here today. I've noticed that this is not working properly with this product. What can you do to help me?" They might have been more willing to just fix it in the first place instead of making you go through all the steps. The same is true for teaching. And that is why I wrote, talk to the teacher. So instead of you trying to go it alone, which is really hard. I know it's really hard. I created a all-in-one guide to how exactly to talk to teachers so that you can get the most out of your child's educational experience, so that everyone is on the same page and talking the same language. Part of that starts with the glossary. And I have a complete glossary in here of most common educational terms that you're going to be using. So things like level group or small groups, push in, pull out, standards-based grading, rating scale, cumulative grade, modifications, accommodations, assessments, response to intervention, special education and special education referrals. It walks you through all of this terminology so that when it gets dropped into a conversation, you'll know exactly what they're talking about. I also have specific emails for every situation, from behavior concerns to poor grades to volunteering in your child's classroom. I have one copy available right now for sale on Okinawa. So if you are in Okinawa, please message me if you would like your print copy of Talk to the Teacher before Saturday. If not, you can buy the print copy on Amazon. You can go ahead to milkidsed.com/shop and look for Talk to the Teacher print copy. You can also buy this as a digitally downloadable ebook. And I put the link right there in the video description. This is my absolute pride and joy. I'm so excited that people are interested in reading this book and learning new ways to talk to the teacher. So if you are a busy modern parent and you're looking for ways to connect to your child's teacher, to get on the same page, to finally understand what they're talking about, and then to turn around and speak their language when you're making requests about grades or homework or asking for more resources, you're going to want to buy Talk to the Teacher so that you can speak their language, so that you are phrasing your emails in exactly the right way, with exactly the right words and exactly the right tone. Inside of Talk to the Teacher, I want you to make sure that you get a good look at this. So there are literally emails. It's an email script. And so all you have to do is, whether you have the print version or the digital version, flip to the email kind or type that you want. So this one, for example, has unusually low test grade. And all you need to do is retype it in your email browser. All you do is insert the teacher's name, insert the child's name. And then down here, right here, would you be able to shed some light on what you think might have happened? I want to make sure that I can talk to your child's name about this and correct it before the next test. Thank you so much, and insert your name. It's literally a word-for-word script that you can send this exact email, just putting in the teacher's name and your child's name and your name. That's it. How incredibly easy is that? It's foolproof, right? So instead of hunting around and sending an email that rubs the teacher the wrong way, or doesn't get you the answers that you want, or doesn't maybe even ask the question that you're really wanting to know about what is actually happening with your child, it's not just a low test grade. You want to know what's happening in math, right? This book will do it for you. You'll be able to find the email that you want. So that's an email about low grades. There's also emails about questions about assignments. I don't know when you don't know if there are assignments, where to find assignments, when you don't understand the directions in the homework, when you don't understand the directions for a project, when there's late or missing work, when you want makeups, when you don't want makeups. So I want to show you all of these. There are multiple low test grades, low report card grade, low grade warning. You want to respond to something. A teacher has sent you a warning email that something might be going wrong, and you now need to respond to it. Guess what? You have the exact response that you need to write. It's foolproof. It's so incredibly easy. It's a no-brainer what to write now whenever you have things. So behavior concerns emails, when your child might be the target of a bully. What to do if the school comes and says, hey, I think your child might be a bully. Other behavior concerns, like disagreeing with them, what response to make. The school has emailed you to say, hey, something happened at school today. We need to talk about it. Guess what? Right here. Oh, no, wrong side. Right here. Send this email. Word for word. Type it in your email browser. It's right there. If the school comes at you and says, hey, something happened, and you don't think that's what happened, right here, the disagreement. You're going to be able to write exactly why you disagree. Special education, scheduling concerns, scheduling questions, compliance and content questions. Literally any email that you can think of. Lack of progress for special education, non-compliance for special education, other emails. Your kid's going to be out sick. Send this email so that your child can get makeup work. When your child is going to be on vacation for a week or so, or for out of school for a non-illness related issue, makeup work, email. Send this email right here to help your teacher feel better and more supported in rounding up all that makeup work for you. And finally, the ever elusive, I want to volunteer in your child's classroom email. Whether you want to come in and help with copying or whatever in the child's classroom or volunteer for a field trip, this is the exact email that you need to send in order to get the teacher to work with you on this. Beyond just the actual content of the emails, if you're feeling fairly confident on the content, I also have ways that you can design a perfectly crafted subject line that guarantees that the teacher will open your child's email first. So crafting subject lines, ways that you can write subject lines so the teacher knows exactly what's inside without giving away all of the content in your email, and helping the teacher to categorize it by child. So for example, it really helps me as a teacher if I know that, I don't really recognize this email address, but look, it says it has Susie S's mom, and it's about homework, about missing homework. All right, that's something that I can maybe talk about later. But if Susie S's test grade urgent, then I might be opening that one first. Writing a good subject line really helps. The last thing I want to talk about inside of Talk to the Teacher is all the other great content. So today in my live, I've really focused in on emails and how email messaging can totally change the game for you. Writing a really good, solid email to the teacher opens up a whole new door. Most of our communication right now is digital. Again, it's really hard to get that tone of voice down when you are communicating through a screen or with written words through a screen. Right now, you can hear my tone of voice, you can see my facial expressions, you can read my body language. It's really easy for you to understand that I am being earnest and honest and open right now. But if you were maybe to read a super honest email, it might come across as blunt or rude. Teachers totally need to work on this too, which is why I recommend Talk to the Teacher for teachers as well, to help them understand where parents are coming from and to better understand how they might respond. So inside of Talk to the Teacher, beyond just the emails, you will find a complete guide to every single thing that you will ever need to talk to the teacher about during the school year. From Meet the Teacher Day to conferences and meetings, about all kinds of conferences and meetings, like the regular parent-teacher conferences that are coming up, special education, behavior meetings, all sorts of meetings. Emails, and then phone calls. You're going to be able to understand exactly what to say when the school calls either unexpectedly or you are calling the school. I think I posted just a few hours ago, or maybe last night, about there was a video going around from Awestruck, and it's a mom talking to the school, and she's saying all of these things. Well, you kind of look like a pirate. Oh, maybe don't say that. Instead of being that mom in that video, you're going to want a phone call script and talking points so that you understand exactly what to say and you don't make the situation any worse. Because if your child calls a teacher who is an amputee a pirate, you might just kind of want to be a little more gracious because that's an awkward situation. You'll also be able to understand the school hierarchy. You'll be able to understand tips for effective communication at meetings, meeting prep tips, things like that. Other tips for effective communication, if you're ready, if you've used the scripts and you're ready to kind of branch off from there. There are also parent records and worksheets, so you'll be able to completely track all of your school communication for a whole academic year, as well as use worksheets to DIY your own meeting scripts, your own emails, your own phone calls, and keep track of everything. Plan everything out so that nothing is left to chance. So that when you walk into that meeting or when you hit send on that email or when you hang up the phone from that phone call, you feel successful. You feel super confident, super successful. You'll be understanding exactly what happened, and you'll walk away and feel really, really good about what happened. You'll know that your child is going to be getting those next steps in school, then more support. You'll feel better about what you need to do at home as well. And then, yeah, so parent-teacher conference notes, so things to bring in with you. So this is literally the all-in-one guide that you will need to successfully navigate school communication as a mom and dad during the school year. If you live in Okinawa and you want to meet up with me and just kind of flip through the book before you decide to purchase, that's totally fine. I will be at the Coffee Social Meetup in Yomitan on the 12th, and I am hosting a 504 plan introduction on the 17th. If you are in Okinawa and would like more information about either one of those events, please send me a private message through MilkKidsEd or email me at milkkidsed@gmail.com. I want to make sure that you all feel supported and successful at school, that you are understanding exactly what's happening at school, and that your child is not feeling stressed out about school. Again, please, if you have questions about ways to improve your email communication or things to do to build a relationship with the teacher, that is what I am here for. Check out the posts and the first link there in the video description. You can grab a free download in the second link, and the third link is a direct link to the digital edition that you can purchase of Talk to the Teacher. Have a great day, and I hope that you feel confident and successful in your school dealings this week.